Hello, I'm Marino from Alpha M, and today we're talking all about sideburns because sideburns are an incredible way to add interest, detail, and dimension to your face. It's also a great way to finish off a sexy ass hairstyle, but just growing sideburns, what the heck does that mean? There are so many, millions of different options, shape, dimension, widths, all sorts of craziness. We got to talk about what makes a good sideburn and what is going to work best for you. We're also going to talk about how to choose sideburns based on your face shape. With a little knowledge and a sharp razor, we can take everyday average sideburns. You know that, I'm done, yeah, my sideburn. All you're worried about is, oh, where should they fall? Nah, gentlemen, there's a lot more to consider. And today we're going to consider it and have those burns be the best they can be. Now, just like with all things style and all things grooming, sideburns are no different. They're trends. They come, they go. Sideburns also can be associated with a specific subculture or portion of the population. Back in the 60s and 70s, big monster burns were all the rage. And then in the 80s, sideburns, they disappeared altogether, leaving lonely faces void of all sideburn hair. Alright, and so this is going to be our first lesson. Personally, I feel that having no sideburns looks a little bit funny. It just seems that your hairstyle is unfinished. There's no real boundary or defining line of where that hairstyle stops. Now, I'm not talking about if you shave or buzz your hair. You're not going to have sideburns. But if you've got a hairstyle and you're just chopping them off right at the top of your ear, that looks funny, and I wouldn't recommend it. At least a little sideburn is required. Alright, so let's go over a general rule. Alright, so regardless of the style of sideburn that you choose to wear, the idea is that it should actually balance and complement your hairstyle. And what this means, alright, so if you've got a short hairstyle, alright, you don't want big, long, bushy sideburns. It just doesn't balance. But if you're wearing a longer hairstyle, you can get away with fuller, longer sideburns. It just makes sense. You've got to have them balanced. Essentially, you're letting your hairstyle lead the way in helping you pick the length and fullness of those sideburns. Now, before we go any further, another key aspect that you need to consider when determining what sideburn is going to work for you are your genetics, right? Genetics are going to play a huge role in it. Some of you have been growing amazing facial hair, very full, very thick, very luscious, since about the 8th grade. You can do whatever the hell you want. And some of us, like me, still to this day don't have fantastically even or dense sideburn follicle activity. Alright, quick true story. Back when I was in high school, like 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, alright, the hot show was Beverly Hills 90210. Oh yeah, Jason Priestley, Luke Perry. They had amazing sideburns. Dude, I wanted sideburns so bad, and I went to the mirror and I tried to... Dude, and the reality, I had zero hair growth, basically 2 inches, alright, from about here to here. Where you need I had like the anti-sideburn. I had hair above, I had hair below, but where I wanted it, no hair. It wasn't until my 30s that actually the sideburns started to fill in a little bit. When I started to get more chest hair, that's when the sideburns started to actually materialize a bit better, which is kind of ironic because being full Italian, I've got female cousins and aunts that have amazing sideburns. They have since they've been like 8. So genetics are definitely going to play a major role in what sideburn style you're able to wear. Okay, so the 2 aspects of sideburns that you need to be most concerned about, and we're going to talk about first, are going to be length, how long they are, and width, how wide they are. In my opinion, sideburn length can be broken up into 4 separate categories. Short sideburns go from the top of the ear to about the top of that little piece that sticks out. Medium length sideburns come down to about the middle of the ear. Long sideburns are from the middle of the ear to the bottom of the ear, and extra long goes past the bottom of the ear. Alright, the second aspect of sideburns that we need to talk about are your sideburns width. Now, standard conservative sideburns are no wider than 1.5 inches. They're also no thinner than 3/4 of an inch. 1.5 inches to 3/4 of an inch. This is going to be your standard or most conservative options. Now, there are a ton of styles that are wider, also a lot of styles that are thinner. This also, I just spit, and I'm not sure if you saw that, but I did, and that's awesome. I'm not stopping because I'm on a roll, sideburn roll. Anyway, there are a lot of styles that are thinner. There's nothing wrong with them. It really depends on you and your lifestyle, what's going to work and what's going to be acceptable. Facial hair is one of the cool things about being a dude. Seriously, like women, okay, if they want to change their look, they can put on makeup, a little smoky eye, they look like a streetwalker. Just kidding. A little bit lighter, all right, different look, totally different. But men, what do we have? We have facial hair. All right, most of us do. And that's pretty cool because by just changing or shaping it in a different way, it's going to give different looks and different dimensions and angles and aspects to our face. It's a great way to switch it up. Sideburns, one of those things that you can play with and experiment with in order to find something that you absolutely love. Experimentation, gentlemen, but there is something else while you're experimenting that you may want to consider, and that is your face shape. Just like certain hairstyles look better and work better with various face shapes, same holds true for sideburns. And so now I'd like to go over the 4 basic face shapes and talk about the best burn for each option. The 4 face shapes we're going to talk about are round, square, triangular, and oval. Now 9 times out of 10, your face shape is going to be very similar to one of those 4, but I realized that there are some other face shapes. And so I actually wrote an article, a very detailed article about all of the face shapes and different sideburn styles and some other things and additional information that I'm not actually mentioning in this video. There's a link down below to the article. Alright, so just like picking a hairstyle based on your face shape or picking glasses based on your face shape, sideburns are no different. The idea is that we want to contrast and balance the natural shape of your face, alright? It's all about lines and it's all about aesthetics. If you have a round face, you may want to try to slim that face with longer sideburns to help add dimension and break up the roundness. Think about it, it makes sense, right? If you've got a round face, elongate that face with a little bit longer sideburn. Alright, start experimenting mid-ear and just work down. But you don't want to have those sideburns get big, bushy, full. Alright, you need to keep them managed and well groomed. Keep them tight to the face. If you have an oval shaped face, go with a medium length, medium width sideburn. Avoid super long and super thin sideburns if you've got an oval shaped face, because that long, thin sideburn is actually going to make your face look longer. Are you a square? Then try a medium to long style sideburn. So if you have a very square face and square jaw, you want to try a sideburn that's a little bit thinner and a little bit longer. What's going to happen, it's actually going to narrow or give the visual illusion of you having a more narrow jaw. It's going to look amazing. If you have a triangular or heart-shaped face, you may want to go with a wider, longer sideburn. So guys like me, people with a triangular face or a pointy chin, what you want to go with is a wide. And by wide, I'm talking about 1.5 inches. Standard, but on the wide side. Not real thin. What that's going to do is actually help widen or strengthen your jaw. And before you start freaking out, you're like, oh my god, I've got a long pointy face and I've been rocking these long pointy sideburns. Oh my god, what am I doing? I'm hideous. Chill out. Here's the deal. It really comes down to personal preference. Find something that works for you, alright? Sideburns are a great way to express your individual style and give a little bit of flair. But one thing I would like to mention, I would like to give you a little styling tip, if you would. Instead of going standard, cutting your sideburns blunt, straight across, what I would love for you to do is just give them a little bit a slight angle. This angle is actually going to follow your jawline. It's a subtle little accent that adds detail and style to those sideburns. So if you would like more information on sideburns or other face shapes and sideburn recommendations, there is a link down below to an article that I wrote. It goes over a lot more detail than I did in this video. Gentlemen, sideburns. An additional detail to your already handsome face.